Shalom, and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets with your host, Rabbi Beaton. We are reading today from the book of Luke, starting at chapter 19. Luke, chapter 19, verse 1. 1. And Yeshua entered and passed through Jericho. 2. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the tax collectors, and he was rich. 3. And he sought to see Yeshua, who he was, and could not because of the crowds, because he was a short man. 4. And he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. 5. And when Yeshua came to the place, he looked up and saw him, and said to him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at your Beth, your house. 6. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. 7. And when they saw it, they all complained, saying that he was gone to be guests with a man that is a transgressor. 8. And Zacchaeus stood and said to the master, Adon, Lord, behold, master, Adonai, Lord, half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. 9. And Yeshua said to him, this day rescue has come to this Beth, to this house, as he is also a son of Abraham. 10. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to rescue that which is lost. 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spoke a parable, because he was near to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of Elohim should immediately appear. 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. 13. And he called his 10 servants and gave them 10 minas and said to them, do business with these until I come. 14. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. 15. And it came to pass that when he returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called to him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. 16. Then came the first, saying, Master, your mina has gained 10 minas. 17. And he said to him, well done, good servant, because you have been trustworthy in very little, you will have authority over 10 cities. 18. And the second came, saying, Master, your mina has gained 5 minas. 19. And he said likewise to him, be you also over 5 cities. 20. And another came, saying, Master, behold, here is your mina, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. 21. For I feared you, because you are a hard man. You take up that you did not deposit, and reap that you did not sow. 22. And he said to him, out of your own mouth will I judge you, you wicked servant. You knew that I was a hard man, taking up that I lay not down, and reaping that I did not sow. 23. Why not then deposit my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with interest? 24. And he said to them that stood by, take from him the mina, and give it to him that has 10 minas. 25. And they said to him, Master, he has 10 minas. 26. For I say to you, that to everyone which has shall be given, and from him that has not, even that he has shall be taken away from him. 27. But those, my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring here and slay them before me. 28. And when he had thus spoken, he went before, ascending up to Jerusalem. 29. And it came to pass, when he had come near to Beth Haggai, Bethpage, and Bethaniah, Bethany, at the mount called the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his disciples. 30. Saying, go into the village over against you, upon which at your entrance you shall find a donkey tied, on which no man has yet sat. Untie him and bring him here. 31. And if any man ask ye, why do ye untie him? Thus shall ye say to him, because the master has need of him. 32. And they that were sent went their way, and found just as he had said to them. 33. And as they were loosening the donkey, the owners there said to them, why do you loose the donkey? 34. And they said, the master has need of him. 35. And they brought him to Yahshua, and they cast their garments upon the colt, and they set Yahshua upon it. 36. And as he went, they spread their clothes in the way. 37. And when he had come near, even now at the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise Elohim with a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen. 38. Saying, blessed is the King that comes in the name of Yahweh. Shalom in Shamayim, and glory in the highest. 39. And some of the Pharisees from among the multitude said to him, Rabbi, rebuke your disciples. 40. And he answered and said to them, I tell you that, if these should hold their shalom, the stones would immediately cry out. 41. And when he had come near, he approached the city and wept over it. 42. Saying, if you had known, even you, at least in this your day, the things which belong to your shalom, but now they are hid from your eyes. 43. For the days shall come upon you, that your enemies shall cast a trench about you, and lay round about you, and siege you in on every side. 44. And they shall lay you even with the ground, and your children within you, and they shall not leave in you one stone upon another, because you know not the time of your visitation. 45. And he went into the Beth Hamidash, the temple, and began to cast them out that sold. 46. Saying to them, it is written, my Beth, my house, is the Beth house of petition, but you have made it a den of thieves. 47. And he taught daily in the Beth Hamidash, the temple, but the chief Kohanim and the experts in the Torah and the chief of the people sought to destroy him. 48. And could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to hear him. So that now brings us to the end of Luke chapter 19. So let's go back and have a look at some of the footnotes in Luke chapter 19. So the first footnote we have is in verse 7. And when they saw it, they all complained, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a transgressor. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So we have here, see Matthew 9 and 11. So let's have a look at Matthew 9 and 11. So Matthew 9 and 11, and it reads, and when the Pharisees saw it, they said to his disciples, why does your rabbi eat with tax collectors and sinners? Okay, so we have a footnote here for tax collectors. So it says here, Yahushua sat and ate with tax collectors. These people were seen as transgressors. But note, in the passage it says, why does your rabbi eat with tax collectors and transgressors? So if tax collectors were transgressors, then why mention the word twice? It is like saying, your rabbi eats with sinners and transgressors. For this, we need to switch our understanding to the first century Hebrew worldview. Yeshua was a Hasid. Note, if tax collectors enter their home, they would be considered ritually unclean. And so, it was recorded, even in the Mishnah, that they would make everything unclean in the house. To paraphrase, what the Mishnah says on this subject, that if a thief enters a house, the chances are it is not entirely ritually unclean, since he may not have touched everything. But if a tax collector or tax collectors enter, he would have to assess everything in the house to know its tax value. Therefore, he makes the whole house unclean. This then enables us to understand why Yeshua was accused of sitting with tax collectors and transgressors, since one could definitely make you ritually unclean. Why is Yeshua a cast-in? This is something you will have to investigate, as we do not have the room or scope to explain this here. Okay, so that's Matthew 9:11. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 9. And Yeshua said to him, this day rescue has come to this Beth, to this house, as he is also a son of Abraham. Okay, so let's have a look at this, son of Abraham. This tax collector was more of a Torah keeper than others around him. Okay, so he was a tax collector, but he was also keeping Torah as well. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 10. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to rescue that which was lost. Okay, so let's have a look at this. That which was lost. He came to redeem the tribes. He's Yahweh in flesh, just as he came in ancient times as the angel of Yahweh. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 40. And he answered and said to them, I tell you that if these should hold their shalom, the stones would immediately cry out. Okay, so let's have a look at this. The stones would immediately cry out. The stones are a reference to Gentiles or the lost 10 tribes, who instead would sing praises of the coming king. Okay, so the stones is a reference to the 10 tribes. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 43. For the day shall come upon you, that your enemies shall cast a trench about you, and lay round about you, and siege you in on every side. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Partially fulfilled when the Romans sieged Jerusalem, but the full prophetic fulfillment is yet to come, when the Muslims will siege it to capture Jerusalem in the future. Okay, so Jerusalem has another siege in the future, which will come from the radical Muslims. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 44. And shall lay you even with the ground, and your children within you, and they shall not leave you one stone upon another. Okay, so let's have a look at this. One stone upon another. The Romans burnt the temple to dig for gold. Okay. That now brings us to the end of Luke chapter 19. So I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the other side. This is Rabbi Beaton saying Shalom Shalom. Thank you for watching. Baruch Shem, Kivod, Makuto, Leolam Va'ed. But never be the name of his esteemed kingdom, forever and ever and ever. Amen.